fellow farmall brothers and sisters. All right, so we are outside, and I'm hoping I'll take it as a good sign that when I pulled the cover off, well, before I pulled the cover off, there was a praying mantis on top of the cover praying. So maybe hopefully he was praying that the engine isn't froze up. So at least I got somebody out there praying for me, huh? All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check all these valves. I want to see if they all have a bounce. I'm worried about the #1 intake and exhaust. So let's find out if these things have any bounce or if they stick. If they stick, it's a good chance that this one's going to have to get tore apart. Can't say it's going to be a lot of fun with this loader in place, but no biggie. Wow. It actually moves. Alright, they actually not froze. Not froze. Uh-oh. Not froze. Definitely not froze. Not froze. Wow, surprisingly. I like to have a little bit more. Oh, it's bouncing. It's not sticking closed. No, they actually are all free. So, that's a good sign. I was really nervous that they were going to be they're going to be froze up. I had to actually so what I did was I actually siphoned the water out of that cylinder, and then I went ahead and loaded it up full of Marvel. So I'm hoping that that's just enough to maybe get that piston freed up. I don't know for sure if the motor was stuck or not, because I didn't try to spin it over, because obviously on this one, with that pump and everything being on the front, I really don't have a lot of access to get into this thing to spin it like I did the other one. So this one we're going to do is we're going to pull the starter, and like I said, I'm going to try to spin this one by the flywheel. That's really about the only way I can think of doing this one. So I'm going to go ahead, and now that I know the valves aren't stuck, I'm going to reposition this camera, and first I'm going to shoot some PV on all the starter bolts. I did also, I almost forgot to mention, I went ahead and I sprayed PV Blaster inside all the valve springs too, through here. So maybe with any luck, maybe that also helped free this thing up. I don't know. He didn't say this one didn't run. He just parked it and never started again. So he didn't say it was froze. The other one was a different story. The other one, I just think there was a whole shield of shit that went wrong with that one, and they just didn't know. Those guys didn't know how to fix it. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do here, I'm going to set this camera up in my other stand, because obviously on this little tripod here ain't going to work. So we're going to set you up over here, and we're going to head and pull the starter and see if we can get this thing spinning around. Okay, so it seems like pull the bolt spark loose pretty easy. Now I don't know if the starter's actually spins on its own or not. I haven't checked the starter itself yet. We will, just not right now. Always nice to find a loose bolt sitting in there. Alright, well, let's see if my pry bar can get me in there. I know sometimes having a nice goofy bent one works much better. Alright, so far she's pretty stuck. You know, I'm feeling the way I got this camera set up. What you guys are seeing is the back of my arm. And it is out of gear, right? We are out of gear. Whew. Gonna be a little bit of work. Let me take a look under and see if I can get those big pair of channel locks on. I don't think I can, but I'm gonna hit pause and see if I can look under it real quick. All right, well, unfortunately it wasn't a success. Trying to get the motor to free up. I'll put the starter back on for now. All the valves are clear, so I don't want to go messing up and chipping a tooth or anything on that flywheel. So the next step is going to be on the next video, is we're going to have no choice but to go ahead and pull the head. I need to actually see down the side there, see what's going on. All the valves are all freed up. I mean, you see up here it looks really good. I'm just worried about that excuse me, that number one cylinder. I couldn't get that fan to spin at all. It's pretty much in the same exact spot. I tried to pull it from below. You know, it wouldn't move. The battery is dead, so I gotta put a charger on that anyway. But unfortunately, yeah, it's not even thinking about moving. It's stuck pretty good. So I think the safest thing to do is going to end up being pulling the head on it and just seeing what that cylinder looks like. And if it's bad, then not really much choice to pop the pistons out of there, and I'll decide if we're going to sleeve it or you know, just re-ring it, or leave the sleeves, hone it, and then just put new piston rings in. So I guess we'll figure it out. But unfortunately, this one is going to take the back burner for a little bit. I'm not going to do too much more to this. We're going to focus on the one in the shed because that's the one I need for the garden this coming spring. So I want to get this thing moving. I don't think I'm going to have time to. If I do, obviously you guys will be the first to know. I'll have a video posted. But this one will be the Will It Run Part 1 because it's the first time attempting to try to get it to spin over. Just didn't have as much luck as I did on the other one. So unfortunately, you know, that's what happens when you have the vertical exhaust with a bad muffler. You know, the guy even had a you know, a cap on it, but the muffler was rotted. So it just found its way in the seams and still came in. It didn't help either, the fact of he had no hose on the breather, as you see right there. And, you know, the carburetor stuck. So it's hard to say if any critters have done gone up inside. I tried to look inside. I really couldn't see anything. I might grab my endoscope and actually look down inside that cylinder and see if I can see what's going on, like see how bad it is. But let's just assume that we're pulling the head on this one. Can't say it's going to be a lot of fun with this loader, but I don't feel like pulling this loader apart just to do that. Unfortunately, I got to pull this top brace. Nothing major. Just as long as I can get these bolts out, I'm going to soak these things down, let them sit for a while. And then this brace will have to come off here in order to pull this tank, because it's going to be a lot easier changing that head with that tank out of the way. So watch the video to the end. I might go ahead and put the endoscope in there and then pull a couple pictures of what it looks like inside the cylinder, because it has a light on the tip of it. And you know, I'll post them at the end. But unless something drastically changed or I get a lot of extra time, this one might end up sitting until spring before I can actually get to it again. But we are going to continue on the other one and you know, keep moving and get the other one started, running, painting, and make that one look good. Like I said, last video I showed with my short, I got some good tires for it, and I'm going to buy some new front tires, because the last thing you want to do on these tractors specifically, because of these front ends, don't put car, you know, tires on the front of these tractors, because that's way too much, you know, real estate there to turn. It puts a lot more stress on these front ends. You need the 3-rib tires. These things right here, that's just asking for trouble for these front ends, because they're already notorious for having issues, and you don't want to add to it. So obviously we're going to put the proper tires on the other one, but this one is definitely going to end up getting new front tires, because yeah, these truck tires, they have to go. So anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Always appreciate it. And like I said, check the video out to the end and check out the pictures. I'm going to see how well they take and see if I can get some cylinder pics of what it actually looks like inside there. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.